I had some real high hopes for last week, but I also set myself a task that realistically was probably a little too ambitious. And that task was these two. Well, I did that, and then I did the walls, which is nothing special, except, you know, it obviously is something that needs doing. And then I started work on the next row. Seriously, look, I did this. And I've got to say, I was pretty damn happy to have actually gotten that done. Looks pretty damn nice. Oh yeah, I also did these walls here and started over here, but that was more just because I didn't have time to start a new project. Well, I have time to start a new project today in this pouring rain. And my goal is no less lofty than it was before. I want to finish this row. Seriously. Okay, so look. All this area here is going to be the fisherman area, right? It's going to look similar to this, but instead of like a one big building, it's going to have sort of huts and so on, and a little storage area here. This shouldn't, in theory, take too long. These two over here were always just going to be wildlife areas. So, in theory, they also shouldn't take too long. And in terms of the walls here, I mean, there's not a lot there, is there? Like, it's not a whole lot of stuff to build. So, the idea of doing this row, I don't think is particularly difficult. I mean, I record for 8 hours usually, and then cut that down, or, you know, speed it up so it's 1 hour. You think I can do that? I'm sure I can do that, right? Because what I would like in the dream world, what I'd like to get all that done, and then start work on the building here, obviously do the walls and start work. Now, I don't think I'll get here. I would like to. I think at best I might get the wall done, but I don't think I'll get to start the building. But I do think I can get this row done. I really do. So, let's not waste any time. Let's get started. Well, this is certainly an improvement. Oh, and also, behind me. Yeah, that's all new. But let's start off from the beginning, and let's start off with these. And these are basically exactly what I said they were going to be. It's a kind of a fishing area. We've got these sort of little docks here you can fish off of. That's just chests for storage. Also a couple of little fish ponds, which, fun fact, did have fish in them. I don't know if any of them... No, they're all gone. We've also got frogs and foxes, but we'll talk about that later, because that's technically from the next part. But yeah, they did have fish in it. I guess the fish died because I didn't make it deep enough. Oh well. And yeah, we've got these still here, and you can see over here we've got these little, you know, houses with little areas, and they're basically all the same, but I have mixed and matched the colours a little bit, just for the sake of keeping it unique, you know. But this is the fishing dock, and I said that these next two are going to be wildlife areas, and that's what I did. A tree, then we got ponds and so on. And what I've done is I've decided to populate them with animals that tend not to see very much. We have ocelots, parrots, foxes and frogs. Now this world I believe was actually made before frogs were added to the game. So they didn't spawn in naturally. Of course they wouldn't. But I've now put some in, and you can see they've kind of gone out a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seeing more animals around the world. It kind of makes the world a bit more lively. I'm going to add villagers at some point to the world as well, but not yet, obviously. And also, we also have a new feature. I don't know when this boat came from. I must have made it at some point to chest something, but a frog just found his way in it, and yeah, it's his boat now. That's just how it works. But yeah, you can see we've got these wildlife areas here. Oh, and over on this side, I populated with goats, and I'm not sure what the other ones were that I put here. I believe they may have actually been the foxes. I think the foxes originally were put over here, but as you can see, the animals are spreading out quite significantly. But yeah, again, I'm absolutely A-okay with that, because it's nice to see the world a bit more populated. And more to the point, the woodland areas I wanted to populate do still have animals. Oh, and also bees. I forgot about bees. But I put bees here as well, because again, I'm just not seeing many of them around. And some of those bees, I've seen them manage to get ages... Oh, there's a frog. Some of the bees I've seen ages away. I've seen them like all the way over here. Of course, now that I bring you here to show you, we won't be able to find them. But I swear to you, I have seen them. They will be in the build footage. But yeah, no sign of them now. But we have our sort of little... I suppose there's like a little chunk of forest that wasn't cut down when the city was built. That's kind of what this is. You know, and not the only one we've got. We've got one over there. And we've got some grassland areas over there. Yeah, little park areas that were never cut down but left as they were. Because, you know, there's no reason to do so. And as you can see, we expanded the walls over. I also built a little bridge connecting these. That wasn't the original plan, but I just like the idea. It's simple, but it's effective. And there we are. And obviously that's beyond the world. I will at some point chop these down, but you know, big and time consuming. With this done, this really was my big goal for this episode. But with this done, I ended up shooting all the way down. And you can actually see a start of a construction for something that's, you know, very much next time's project. But what I built here, which I quite like, I built this sort of, well, I'm kind of envisioning this almost as a bit like a gladiator training area. So we have sort of the eating area here. Those coming either side are just hallways. This here is a sitting area. We have a little small coliseum, like a micro coliseum, which is specifically just for training purposes. And obviously you can see here we've got an archery training section. And if we go through the dining section, through these doors here, you can find these little bed areas. And there's one in each tower, and there's four towers. So that's the sort of gladiator training area, which I'm very proud of. I quite like how this came out. It was very much based on sort of rough designs for a real building, and I think it came out really well. And this is just going to be kind of like a fancy home complex. But I'm not entirely sure what this is completely. It's just a rough design I've got that I've decided to build. As you can see, I only really just got it started last time. But, you know, I always sort of record for about 8 hours. I always try and make the build videos about an hour long. They usually end up being a little bit more or a little bit less, but I aim for about an hour. And I had the time, I had about 40 minutes left, so I just sort of thought, well, I'll start construction on the next thing. So that'll be here. This here will be a coliseum. I guess this is what I'm building next time. You can see it's like a sort of a perfect square. And the reason for that is it needs to be a perfect circle. Up here, I'm gonna say probably farmland of some kind. I don't know. Maybe a hunting area. I haven't really given it a lot of thought, but you know, I'm kind of doing more sort of farmland and grassland on the outer edges. I mean, you can see here, you know, this is a farm, and this is a farm, and that is a farm, and that is a farm. You can very much see that's sort of what I was going for, and is what I will continue to go for. And you can see obviously woodland areas there and so on. And again, that's very much based on the real city. If you see sort of all the drawings of the real city, if you see, you know, any like the constructions of... I hadn't seen that! All my chickens are stuck! Okay, that's not something I was expecting to find right now, but sure. But yeah, I mean, again, it's very much based on, you know, historical documents. That the reality is that the outer edges were mostly sort of farmland, stuff like that. So this is definitely going to be some kind of farmland. Or I'm kind of digging the hunting area idea, so maybe more that. This one I haven't got a clue. But that'll be a coliseum, that'll be a big fort, and I don't know what the rest is going to be. But I do know we're making quite significant progress, because realistically speaking, like, every area we've got left to build, I can look at in one look. Boom, that's it. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Look at how much we've done, how far we've come. That doesn't even all load in. And this, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So, this is what we've done today, and obviously the walls and that have been expanded, of course they have. Next time, well, it goes without saying I'm finishing this complex here, and I'd also like to get the Colosseum done, but the Colosseum's going to be a big one, so there's a chance I may not, but we're going to give it a go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one, which hopefully will see me get the Colosseum done, or maybe even the Areas Beyond, but I'm not willing to bet on that because, well, Colosseum's going to be big, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you then.